Hey guys, Dark Humility here. Couldn't always catch me at twitch.tv for 6-7 days a week of Diablo 2 action. This is yet another installment of the Season 7 mini guide build demo series. Here we have the Fire Druid. The Fire Druid has a unique potential to benefit from the changes in Season 7, particularly the physical damage one that relies mostly on just casting the physical and fire abilities simultaneously. He always had to choose before between getting either Infinity or Amplify damage proc on Mercenary. No longer does he actually have to choose that with the new Act 4 Mercenaries. You now have Infinity, and if you put it on the Dark version, you will get Amplify damage, and it's very dangerous. Arguably, he should proc it a bit more often, but he's procking it enough to where you're going to feel a pretty nice boost from this. And it does so much damage anyway. Doesn't matter. Anyway, he's a bit of a monster. Make sure to equip him with 125 FCR and some DR if you can on the rest of the build. And then he should be able to survive most stuff. Anyway, on this build we get enough strength wear gear, enough dex wear gear, and either vitality or energy. Energy can help with cyclone armor. However, with the vitality, with a skull collector, if you wanted to use that instead, you would probably put a lot of your points into energy for a combination of boosting both the bone armor on casting on the skull collector, and of course the cyclone armor on the druid himself. Alright. Pretty straightforward stuff. Get as much res as you can. I really like having 163 FCR on this build. Really just helps with the smoothness of all the animations on this build, including recasting summons. Makes Gust a little bit more smooth, of course. Then, of course, Molten Boulder does cast at that maximum speed as well, which is pretty nuts. And of course, you can go 99 and go a bit more negative enemy res. You can definitely stack more damage with that approach as well. FHR is good to have for sure, but you do have summons to protect you. Mostly negative enemy fire res, percent fire skill damage, and plus skills, and negative enemy fizz res from the amp damage on the Merc, and you can also get that from Brimstone Rain, which is my personal favorite. And of course, summons, I just put one into everything. You can put any remaining points into Oak Sage, but for the most part, you're going to want to make sure you have level 30 Gust. Cyclone Armor can be pretty strong as well. And then make sure that you max out Molten Boulder, Fissure, Volcano, and Armageddon. On the pure fire version, you would go all of them for the most part, but as you can see, there are no Firestorm synergies on any of the actual physical fire ones. So there's Fissure synergy, that's why we get that there on Volcano. There's also a Fissure synergy on Molten Boulder, but there's no Firestorm synergy except on Fissure, and we don't use Fissure on this build. It's actually not necessary. Fissure is very strong though, of course, on the other version of the build, but you don't have to really worry about that nearly much. Okay, and of course, very good stuff in general, and you'll have a lot of power through all of that. Act 4 Mercenary, get the amp damage version, the dark one, make sure it has 125 CR. Any standard elite staff with a rune word will hit 85, and then you basically just need like a rack and a cultist pretty much every time. Infinity, of course, is going to reduce that negative fire res, and of course he has amp damage for the negative enemy fizz res. And of course we have Shaft Stop for defensive power, Resist Fire, which does boost your fire damage a little bit. Not a huge boost, but it does something. It has some half freeze duration as well, so he's not frozen very often, which is useful for his cast speed. He does do some damage with his bone skills as well. And then, of course, he'll have some res or whatever else he needs there. Maybe he cannot be frozen. Remember, you can get corruptions on the actual thing, but not on the beta that we were testing on Season 7 beta. Then, of course, you're going to want negative fizz res, negative fire res, facets, FCR plus skills. Brimstone Rain really has it all for a hybrid build. CTA, Littlest Wall as well. Ravenlord just has a ton of negative enemy fire res. Hit Hagen's is really huge. Corruption. This build is insanely strong. It's a crazy S tier powerhouse, so for sure check it out. Got lots of FCR, got fire skills, negative fire res, FCR. You can even get Enigma if you want a chain teleport, but then you need more FCR from Corruptions probably. At any rate, it's pretty solid. Elemental skillers, Orch, Annie, life res. Alright, so without further ado, let's do some demos so you can see what he's capable of. We will get those. Yes, sir. What would be the best character to work with it? I would say Act 4 Mercenary is best with characters that can protect him currently. So basically you're looking at Druids or Necromancers because they come with army, right? So they have either summons or you have golems or revives or skeletons. Typically you're going to go with golems or revives on like a bone necro, and bone necro is good with the light one. So the light one's very good for things like Dark Pact and Bone because it has Sanctuary on it. And then you can get like another aura like Cleansing, which is very useful for just never dying, so it's very good. And then it's also good on the Druid, which also has an army, so it has summons that can also protect him. And then you can use them for his amplified damage for the wind and fire Druid builds. That's pretty much it for the most part. You can use them on physical damage builds, but typically I still prefer things like Act 1, Act 2, Act 5 for all those approaches because they survive a little bit better, and if you don't have any minions to surround him, you jump in the middle of monsters, you just get wrecked, so it doesn't, I don't think it's meant to survive that. It's kind of like the Act 3 Merc, right? Like I like the Act 3 Merc on a lot of characters that already have like their huge amount of negative enemy res or anything like that. So but if you jump into the middle of a pack with the Act 3 Mercenary, it's going to die, so same crap. Sure to cast an Armageddon and go to town. It's also known as the Cow Flattener. So if you cast a combination, Molten Boulder and Volcano here, it's pretty insane. You can see so much damage. You can just cast one or the other as well. Keep that in mind. But as you can see, fortified cows. I don't like fortified cows because the whole point of this area is to have density, right? Cows have so much HP. I don't typically ever test on that. You can do it, obviously, but I don't think it's very optimal in PD2. I mean, you could test it just for fun, but, you know. Right, exactly. No point. Well, that's not entirely true. You can see the Mercenary is definitely helping out quite a bit here. Amplified damage. Eviction off of the Infinity Staff. Remember, he's a staff wielder, so that's what he uses. Remember, you can also make all these melee rune words and staves too, but like I said, like, He's not not as durable as some of the other ones. Geronimo. Ran out of wolves. It's okay. I have 163 FCR to respawn them. No problem. Definitely where Firestorm is a little bit better on like a pure fire version for that, but doesn't really matter honestly. It crushes. Lightning Fury feel better after the buffs? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I don't know, Lightning Fury to me still feels really strong. It felt strong last season too. I don't know. I don't know. It's strong. I love your comments, Roll and Hammer. So funny. Yeah, yeah, I might have to adjust everything on the tier list down a third. I think we're gonna have to do that. It's about that time. Can't be having that weird tier on there, you know? Alright, this is also known as Tomb of Zolan Cool Bowling. Isn't Throne Map fire immune? Maybe, but... Oh god. Oh shit. Running out of summons. It's dangerous. Run out of your meat shields and then the Mercenary dies. It's all over. You can kill the boss, of course, but it's not the most fun part of this build, though. Do you want me to do bowling in there? Is that what you want? You want bowling? You want actual bowling? Alright, here you go. Bowling. Yeah, sure. We'll do some bowling. You can also do fortified maps, but this character really thrives on density destroying in my opinion. But you can do them just fine, so I think that's fine. I would consider them to be viable in this build. Alright, so let's go do a fire immune map. Why not do a tough one, right? Life shouldn't always be easy. I firmly agree with that. Actually, you know what? This one has more density. This one could be more fun. More bowling, the better. This is a nice bowling alley right here. There you go. Ah! Yeah, these fire enemies are still a little annoying. Especially if the Mercenary doesn't cast amp. This wouldn't be my favorite bowling alley. I prefer Tomb of Zoltan Cool bowling, not throne bowling. Just me though, you know. Coming up on aisle 8. Molten Boulder bowling is a lot of fun. And of course, got the Volcano. And boom. Okay. Look at that power. Look at that amazing power. Look at him tear through everything. So what you can do is you can just like put down a volcano as soon as you land and start bowling. Yep, see the Mercenary starting to go. Merc goes, it's not fun anymore. Oh yeah, this is a really strong build, man. Absolutely. And to finish, we will jump in and die. We'll jump in and die. Okay, not happening. Okay, whatever. Failed the jump in and die test. Yep, there you go. I didn't forget vines. I just didn't really care for the vines, honestly. What I did forget was the oak sage, though. Well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, GG. Hope you guys enjoyed that demo of the Season 7 Fire Druid. Let the power of both Amp and Conviction make this character a monster. Yeah, even Crush Throne of Insanity, which is arguably one of the toughest maps for him, doesn't matter. Get it. Time to smash.